Hello, future engineers and scientists. Welcome to an exciting journey into the world of organic chemistry. Today, we are diving deep into alkanes, specifically focusing on how these fundamental building blocks of organic compounds are prepared. Alkanes are everywhere, from the natural gas heating our homes to the fuels powering our cars. Understanding their synthesis is key. We'll start with the basics, then gradually build up to advanced, competitive-level concepts, preparing you for the challenges of Advanced. Let's begin our 4-level exploration. Ready to discover the simplest ways to make alkanes? Let's unlock the fundamental reactions together. Our first method for preparing alkanes is through hydrogenation of unsaturated hydrocarbons. Imagine taking a molecule with a double or triple bond, like an alkene or alkyne, and simply adding hydrogen to it. This process saturates the bonds, turning them into single bonds, thus forming an alkane. We use special catalysts like nickel, platinum, or palladium to speed up this reaction. For instance, ethene, with its double bond, becomes ethane when hydrogen is added over a nickel catalyst at high temperatures. It's like filling up a partially empty tank with hydrogen atoms. Next up, we have two more crucial methods. The Wurtz reaction is fantastic for building larger, symmetrical alkanes. You take two molecules of an alkyl halide, like methyl bromide, and react them with sodium metal in dry ether. The sodium effectively joins the two alkyl groups together, forming a new carbon-carbon bond and yielding an alkane like ethane. However, remember, it works best for symmetrical alkanes. Our third method is decarboxylation, a way to reduce the carbon chain length. If you take the sodium salt of a carboxylic acid, like sodium acetate, and heat it with soda lime, your mixture of sodium hydroxide and calcium oxide, it loses a carbon dioxide molecule and forms an alkane, in this case, methane. It's a neat way to get a smaller alkane. Time to test your understanding. Try these 3 practice questions. First, what alkane forms when propene undergoes hydrogenation? Second, can you write the balanced equation for the Wurtz reaction using ethyl bromide? And finally, what alkane results from the decarboxylation of sodium propanoate? Pause here, think about the reactions we just discussed, and jot down your answers. Good luck! Now, let's deepen our understanding of alkane preparation, exploring mechanisms and broader applications. Get ready for more detailed insights. Let's dive deeper into catalytic hydrogenation. This reaction is a SYN addition, meaning both hydrogen atoms add to the same side of the double or triple bond. The catalyst, be it nickel, platinum, or palladium, plays a vital role by providing a surface where the reactants can absorb and react, significantly lowering the energy required. Platinum and palladium are more active, working at milder conditions, while nickel often needs higher temperatures. This method is incredibly versatile for converting unsaturated hydrocarbons to their saturated counterparts without affecting other functional groups, making it a powerful tool in synthesis. Moving to the Wurtz reaction, its mechanism is generally understood to involve free radicals. Sodium donates an electron to the alkyl halide, creating an alkyl radical, and then two such radicals combine to form the alkane. While simple, it has limitations. Using two different alkyl halides leads to a messy mixture of 3 products, making it impractical for unsymmetrical alkanes. Also, for secondary or tertiary halides, elimination reactions can compete, forming unwanted alkenes. Finally, decarboxylation with soda lime involves a carbanion intermediate. The carboxylic acid salt loses carbon dioxide, leaving a transient carbanion that quickly picks up a proton to form the alkane. Calcium oxide in soda lime is crucial. It keeps the mixture dry and helps remove CO, facilitating the reaction and preventing glass fusion. Beyond these, we have other valuable methods. Preparation from Grignard reagents is highly versatile. Grignard reagents, like methyl magnesium bromide, are very reactive. They readily react with any compound containing an active hydrogen, such as water or alcohols, to form an alkane. For example, methyl magnesium bromide reacts with water to give methane. Then there's the reduction of alkyl halides. You can directly convert an alkyl halide to an alkane using reducing agents like zinc and acid, or powerful hydrides like lithium aluminum hydride, LiAl, which is a strong reducing agent for primary, secondary, and tertiary halides. Sodium borohydride, NaBH, is a milder option, effective for primary and secondary iodides and bromides, offering a degree of selectivity. Now, it's time for some medium-level challenges. First, why is the Wurtz reaction not ideal for making propane? Second, explain the role of CaO in decarboxylation and name the intermediate. Third, propose a mechanism for forming ethane from ethyl bromide via the Wurtz reaction. Fourth, how would you prepare methane from methyl magnesium bromide? And finally, compare the reducing power of LiAl and NaBH for alkyl halides. Take your time, think critically about the mechanisms and limitations we've covered. Welcome to the hard level. Here, we'll dissect advanced synthetic strategies, compare methods critically, and explore deeper theoretical connections. At this level, a comparative analysis of alkane preparation methods is essential. Each method has its unique advantages and disadvantages. Hydrogenation offers high yields and stereospecificity but is limited to unsaturated compounds. The Wurtz reaction is great for symmetrical alkanes but struggles with unsymmetrical ones and can have side reactions. Decarboxylation is useful for shortening carbon chains, particularly for methane, but cannot extend them. Grignard reagents are versatile but extremely moisture-sensitive. Reduction of alkyl halides provides a direct route but can involve costly or highly reactive reagents. Understanding these trade-offs is crucial for selecting the most appropriate synthetic pathway in a given scenario, a key skill for G Advanced. Let's delve into Kolbe's electrolytic method. This is another route for symmetrical alkanes, but it involves electrolysis of carboxylic acid salts. At the anode, the carboxylate ion loses an electron to form an acyloxy radical, which then decarboxylates to yield an alkyl radical. Two alkyl radicals then combine to form the alkane. However, side products like alkenes and esters can form, making it less selective than some other methods. Crucially, the Corey-House synthesis, using Gilman reagents, offers a powerful solution for unsymmetrical alkanes. Unlike Wurtz, reacting a lithium dialkyl cuprate with a primary alkyl halide gives excellent yields of a single, desired unsymmetrical product. This method also tolerates various functional groups, making it a preferred choice in complex synthesis. Understanding the stereochemical aspects of hydrogenation is vital. In heterogeneous catalytic hydrogenation, both hydrogen atoms add from the same face of the double or triple bond, leading to a SYN addition. This surface-mediated process ensures a specific stereochemical outcome, which can be critical for chiral molecules. For example, hydrogenating 1,2-dimethylcyclohexane will specifically yield *CIS*1,2-dimethylcyclohexane. Furthermore, looking at the mechanistic nuances of alkyl halide reduction, reagents like LiAl often follow an SN2-like pathway for primary and secondary halides, where the hydride acts as a nucleophile. Zinc and acid, on the other hand, can involve radical intermediates or SN2 displacement, with the acidic conditions enhancing the leaving group ability of the halide. These subtle differences influence reaction pathways and product distributions. Now, challenge yourself with these hard-level questions. First, design a Wurtz synthesis for 2,3-dimethylbutane and explain its suitability. Second, what's the key advantage of Corey-House over Wurtz for 2-methylbutane? Third, predict products and issues if you try to make propane via Kolbe's from sodium propanoate. Fourth, what's the stereochemical outcome of hydrogenating Z to butene? Fifth, suggest a method for converting 1-bromopropane to propane and compare Lyell and NABH. Sixth, compare decarboxylation and Kolbe's mechanisms. Finally, outline 2 methods for N-hexane synthesis, discussing their pros and cons. These require careful thought and application of detailed concepts. Welcome to the hardest level, where we tackle the pinnacle of alkane preparation. We'll explore industrial processes, advanced synthetic strategies, and the intricate details that set apart top performers in G Advanced. Let's begin with industrial preparation. The Fischer-Tropsch synthesis is a landmark process, converting syngas, a mix of carbon monoxide and hydrogen, into liquid hydrocarbons, including alkanes, using catalysts like iron or cobalt. It's crucial for synthetic fuel production, especially from coal or natural gas. Then there's hydrocracking, a vital refinery process. It breaks down heavy, long-chain hydrocarbons from crude oil into smaller, more valuable alkanes like gasoline and diesel components, using hydrogen and specific catalysts. This process not only increases fuel yield but also improves quality by reducing sulfur content. These methods are at the heart of the petroleum and chemical industries, demonstrating large-scale alkane production. We move on to advanced reduction methods. The Clemmensen reduction uses zinc amalgam and concentrated HCl to convert aldehydes and ketones directly into alkanes, but it's sensitive to acid-labile groups. Its counterpart, the Wolff-Kishner reduction, achieves the same transformation using hydrazine and a strong base, making it ideal for acid-sensitive molecules. Both offer powerful ways to remove carbonyl oxygen. Another potent method is the high-Redp reduction, which can reduce a wide range of functional groups, including alkyl halides, alcohols, aldehydes, and ketones, all the way down to alkanes. Red phosphorus plays a crucial role in regenerating high, ensuring the reaction's efficiency. Understanding these methods expands your toolkit for complex synthesis. Next, let's explore stereochemical control and selectivity in hydrogenation. While heterogeneous catalysis typically leads to *SY and addition, homogeneous catalysts like Wilkinson's catalyst can offer greater selectivity and milder conditions, sometimes even allowing for *anti* addition under specific circumstances. For molecules with existing chiral centers, hydrogenation can also exhibit diastereoselectivity, meaning it preferentially forms one diastereomer over others due to the influence of the existing chiral environment on the catalyst's interaction. This level of control is paramount in synthesizing complex natural products. We also need to consider green chemistry principles in alkane synthesis. Concepts like atom economy, maximizing the incorporation of starting material atoms into the product, are vital. Hydrogenation, for instance, has high atom economy. Prioritizing catalytic reactions, using benign solvents, and designing energy-efficient processes are key to sustainable chemical production, a growing focus in modern chemistry. Finally, let's look at designing multi-step synthesis and mechanistic elucidation. For complex alkanes, we often use retrosynthetic analysis, working backward from the target to simpler precursors. Strategic choices depend on whether you need to increase, decrease, or maintain the carbon chain length, and whether the alkane is symmetrical or unsymmetrical. Functional group compatibility and stereochemical control are also critical considerations. For example, designing 2,2-dimethylpropane requires careful selection of methods. Mechanistic elucidation involves understanding transition states and intermediates, like the stability of the carbanion in decarboxylation or the detailed radical chain in Wurtz, to predict side products and optimize reactions. A deep grasp of these nuances is what truly distinguishes a top-tier chemist. All right, it's time for the ultimate challenge. Tackle these first 5 hardest level questions. First, synthesize 2,3-dimethylbutane from propene. Second, convert 3-pentanone to N-pentane via 2 distinct routes, comparing them. Third, explain Fischer-Tropsch's alignment with green chemistry and its limitations. Fourth, predict the product and mechanism for 1-bromo-2-dimethylpropane with lithium dimethylcuprate, justifying its preference over words. Fifth, identify products and explain multiple product formation when attempting to make N-butane using coal-based electrolytic method from sodium butanoate. These demand your full analytical and synthetic skills. Let's continue with the remaining 5 hardest level questions. Sixth, propose a reagent and conditions for reducing to bromobutane to *sec*butane with minimal side products. Discuss the mechanistic pathway involved. Seventh, design a multi-step synthesis for 2,2,3,3-tetramethylbutane using only 2 carbon starting materials. Eighth, compare Clemmensen and Wolff-Kishner reductions, stating when each is preferred. Ninth, discuss atom economy in catalytic hydrogenation versus the Wurtz reaction for alkane synthesis, identifying the greener method. And finally, for question 10, compound A, CH, gives N-butane on hydrogenation and 2,2-dibromobutane with HBr, propose its structure and explain the reactions. These questions will truly test your mastery of alkane preparation. And that brings us to the end of our comprehensive session on alkane preparation. From the basic reactions to advanced industrial methods and intricate mechanisms, you've covered a vast and crucial part of organic chemistry. Remember, consistent practice and a deep conceptual understanding are your best tools for cracking the advanced. For more such in-depth educational content, practice questions, and interactive learning experiences, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates and more amazing chemistry lessons. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep aiming high. See you in the next session.